is I, John O'Regan, the uncommon voice for the common man, where once again I have emerged from my bunker when I hear outrageous things going on, and I have a solution to it. And it is a common, practical sense solution to a problem. And today you're going to get a bit of a history lesson, because anybody that watches these videos know that I am a bit of a vexologist. I guess that would make me an amateur vexologist. That means a bit of a flag expert. Anybody that watches these videos notice that I have an extensive collection of historic American flags. For example, the flag behind me here is a 35-star flag when the state of West Virginia, which, by the way, West Virginia Day was on Saturday, and June 20th, 1863, the state of West Virginia decided they wanted nothing to do with the Confederacy. So, in effect, West Virginia seceded from the Confederacy. And while the Confederate flag flew on the capital of Virginia and the capital of the Confederacy, which was Richmond, the Stars and Stripes, the flag behind me, flew on the first capital of the great state of West Virginia, which was Wheeling, which is right up the river from where this video is being recorded. But that is just to prove the point that I know a thing or two about American flags. And this whole thing comes down to this controversy over the Confederate flag being flown over the state capitol in South Carolina. And I have a common sense solution to the problem. Now, we all know that the poor shooting victims were African Americans in the church in South Carolina, Charleston. And we also know that the guy that did it was white. So, of course, needless to say, you can see where this is going. And already our worthless president has strode to the microphone and actually used the N-word. And I'm not going to use it. But he can, because if I say it, I'm a racist. If he says it, well, he's president, he says whatever he wants. Of course, he can run around and say typical white woman when he's referring to his maternal white grandmother, and nobody says anything about that. The double standard with these clowns. But what I am going to do here is delve into this flag controversy, because it is boiling and something needs to be said about it. Because you have 2 points of contention here, and both points are legitimate. The one point from all these people that want that flag taken down to South Carolina, the NAACP, all these civil rights activists, all these people want that flag gone. However, the state rights people believe that they have every right to fly it. And in effect, believe it or not, they are both right. Both of them. They are both right. So what we need here is some common sense, some history lessons, and a compromise. And as always, I will provide it. And here is your history lesson. I got to move up to the computer here because I got my audio-visual demonstrations here for you people. But with this being said, since I am a good Yankee, I don't have a lot of literature or Confederate flag things, but I did find something here that you will find interesting. And here is your history lesson forthwith. You see this flag right here? See that thing? That is what they incorrectly call the Stars and Bars. That is not the Stars and Bars. In fact, that flag that you see right there never existed in history at all. It's incorrect. Now, it's a rectangle like this flag behind me. There was a version of that flag that was a square, and it was the battle flag. And the Confederate troops would take that flag into battle with them so they didn't get their flags and their lines about their infantry lines confused with the Union line. So that's why that thing came into being. That flag that you see I just showed, the rectangle like this one, it never existed. It is historically incorrect. And of course, that version of the Confederate flag is the one that's always identified with the Ku Klux Klan, which is the one that the civil rights people have problems with. They have a good point. Now, with that being said, let's go to what is actually historically correct. This is the one that these are the Confederate flags that actually existed in history. Now, these are small, and they're in black and white, so please forgive me, but this will give you the drift. Now, this flag that you see here, right there, in the upper right there, the one I got it with these stripes on it, you see it? That is actually the stars and bars. That is actually what is considered the stars and bars. That is it right there. The top stripe, gee whiz, I can hold it still. The top stripe is red, the middle one is white, and the field that you see the stars in the circle in are blue. It is blue, and it looks incredibly like the Betsy Ross flag, which is exactly the intent when they came up with this flag. That is historically correct. In fact, that is the first flag of the Confederacy right there. That is the stars and bars. Anybody tells you any difference doesn't know what they're talking about. Now I'm going to move this over a little bit, and you'll see this. You see that flag right there? That's known as the last Confederate stainless flag. You'll notice that the correct square-like battle flag is up in the upper corner of it. That is historically correct. That one did exist in history. And you'll notice that the stripe, or the X, in there, in the corner, is the Confederate battle flag put on a rectangle. That is historically correct. Now, there you go. So, now you understand the history of all this thing. And here is the compromise. Now, what they need to do in South Carolina is this. Replace the battle flag, the one that's up there now, the one that you see, the big rectangle, even though I just called it a battle flag. It really isn't. I don't even know what you would call it. For the sake of this conversation, we're going to call it the battle flag. They can replace the battle flag, the ones that the civil rights activists don't like, with the ones that I just showed you. The real stars and bars. The ones with the three stripes, the blue field, and the stars in a circle. That one is the stars and bars. And when it came out, that's what they called it. That is the first flag of the Confederacy. Now, all these state rights people should fly that flag on their capital because they have every right to do it, and put that up there. And there you go. Not only do you get rid of the flag that you see, the battle flag, that the NAACP and all those civil rights activists don't care for, but you actually put the historically correct flag up there. Problem solved. There you go. Everybody wins in this situation. But I bet you this, because I know these people and I know that this country is so divided now that somebody, somewhere, some way will bitch, whether it be the civil rights of the NAACP or the states' rights people. I guarantee it. But if you just do what I say, that will solve the whole problem. Until next time, this is your favorite conservative amateur vexillologist and a man of compromise, just like my hero, George W. Bush, who never got any credit for his common sense compromises, just like mine probably won't get any credit. Until next time, I say this to you now. I am white. I am real. I am not fake. I don't try to change my skin color, or I don't try and have a vaginal insert. I am the real thing. And to prove it, I'm always keeping it real in the hood. Until next time I say this to you now, over and out.